Hello students, my name is Dr. Tahir Nizami and I am your teacher for subject Instrumental Method of Analysis. So my first topic is flame photometry. Now students, as name suggests flame photometry, the meaning of flame photometry is that it is a type of analytical technique in which we use flame. Now photometry itself means analysis with the help of light. Photon means light and metry means analysis. So flame photometry basically is a type of analytical technique in which we utilize flame to excite the ions or atoms of certain elements to detect their wavelength and to determine their concentration. Now the specific point of flame photometry is that it is used for analysis of certain alkaline metals like sodium, potassium, calcium, lithium and barium. नाउ इस टेक्निक के अंदर सोडियम, पोटेशियम, कैल्शियम, लिथियम और बेरियम का ही एनालिसिस हो सकता है, ये इसकी लिमिटेशंस भी हैं. एंड दिस टेक्निक इज यूज्ड टू आइडेंटिफाई द अल्कलाइन अर्थ मेटल बिकॉज इन दिस एलिमेंट्स, इन सारे एलिमेंट्स के अंदर द वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर ईदर 1 और 2. सो इट इज वेरी इजी बाय फ्लेम एनर्जी और बाय थर्मल एनर्जी टू एक्साइट दिस इलेक्ट्रॉन या टू excite this electron to make them in excited state. Now in flame photometry, first we will discuss about the concept and introduction of flame photometry, and then we will discuss about the principle of flame photometry. Now, and one thing more I want to add, that flame photometry is similar to atomic absorption spectroscopy, and there is slight difference between flame photometry and atomic absorption spectrometry, which we will discuss after some time. Now what happens in flame photometry is that when we take some salt like NaCl, if we take for example NaCl, or you can take KCl, or any other salt which contain one cation anion, specifically salt of sodium, potassium, calcium, lithium, barium and magnesium. So what happens exactly in this flame photometry is that when we take salt, for example this is salt Mx minus, this is in salt. Now when we use thermal energy or heat energy, that is in flame photometry, now this thermal energy is utilized to convert this salt which is in solution form into a solid form. So Ms, for example, it is in solid state. Now our salt Mx is converted into Ms, that is solid state. Now what happens after some time? After some time this Ms, which is in solid form residue, when further heated, so it gets converted into Ms, which is in gaseous form. Now this is an atomic form, the gaseous form, and when further heating, this Ms, which is in gaseous form, that is in atomic form, dissociates. It gets dissociates and it get converted into M, which is in ionic form, which is a gaseous form. Now our metal ion is converted into ionic form and it is in gaseous form. Now two things can be happen to this isolated metal ion. Now two things can be happen to this isolated metal ion. In this isolated metal ion, we can excite them. For example, if I write M and M plus, we can excite them to M star. So this is ion in ground state, M star in excited state. So we can excite through thermal energy by providing energy which is equal to E is equal to H nu. This amount of energy is required to excite this gaseous ion into its excited state. So this is ground state and this is excited states. So this is one of the two methods. In another method, we can excite, and basically this happens in flame photometry. And in another technique, we can excite this ion into excited state from its ground state. This is ground state. This is excited with another technique. The another technique is using electromagnetic radiation. Now typically in this case electromagnetic radiation are emerged from a hollow cathode tube or any other suitable source. Now this also utilizes energy which is equal to E is equal to H nu. Now in front of you there are two types of ions which are available, which are in ground state. They can be excited either by using thermal energy or they can be used with some electromagnetic radiation. Now when we use this thermal energy to excite this molecule, this type of technique is known as flame photometry. This happens in flame photometry, and basically this happens in atomic absorption technique. Atomic absorption spectroscopy or technique. Why I am telling you this? Because when atoms are excited, absorb energy and convert it to excited state, they release similar amount of energy. They release similar amount of energy to come again to their normal state, ground state. And while doing so, when they are coming to ground state, they are reaching to ground state, they emit the absorbed radiation or energy. They emit the absorbed radiation or energy. And this emitted energy or absorbed energy is measured by flame photometer. And this is the basic. So this emit the radiation which are absorbed during excitation, and this radiation are evaluated by our flame photometer, and this form the basis of flame photometry. This emitted radiation have certain wavelength, and that wavelength is associated with the type of ion which emit this wavelength during coming from excited state to again ground state. Now this is our area of interest, and this is measured by flame photometer. And what happens in this class? What happens in when the ions excited by absorbing electromagnetic radiation, they come into excited states. Similarly, likewise, they come into again ground state and they emit radiations. They emit radiation, that is E minus H nu. The amount that is absorbed, that is released. Here also minus H nu amount of energy is released, and they come into ground state. And while coming to ground state from excited state, they emit certain radiation which are measured by atomic absorption technique. Now here the difference between flame photometry and atomic absorption spectroscopy occurs. The basic difference in flame photometry and atomic absorption spectroscopy is that in flame photometry the principle is emission. We take atomic emission spectrum, and in case of atomic absorption spectroscopy we take absorption. Right. So this is the basic difference between flame photometry and atomic absorption spectroscopy. And in flame photometry, the electrons, the ions are excited using flame, and atomic absorption spectroscopy, ions are excited with the help of electromagnetic radiation which is produced from hollow cathode tube. Now, when we discuss about energy level, let us discuss about energy level. We find that suppose this is state of lower energy level E1, this is state of higher energy level E2. We can say that it is ground state, and we can say that excited states. What happens when metal ion absorb thermal energy or heat energy, E is equal to H nu, and it go to excited state and it become M star. Similarly, in this condition, this excited ion from higher energy level of E2 come to lower energy level, that is down state E1, by releasing same amount of energy. Same amount of energy. And with the formula E is equal to H nu, we can determine the amount of energy which is absorbed by this atom or released by this atom. That will be E2 minus E1 is equal to H nu. This equation can be simplified. We know that the value of nu is equal to C upon lambda. C is the velocity of electromagnetic radiation or light, and lambda is wavelength. If we put the value of nu in this equation, we will find that E2 minus E1 is equal to H into C upon lambda. Now, in this condition, we want to determine the value of lambda. It can be defined, lambda can be determined as lambda is equal to C into H upon E2 minus E1. So here we get the simple terminology या equation for lambda. Now this lambda is determined as unique for every element. Furthermore, we know that this is a constant which is velocity of light. H is constant known as Planck constant. C is the velocity of electromagnetic radiation. It has some particular value which you all know about. Now this is the mathematical equation to determine the value of lambda. Now students, I can say you that every ions like sodium, calcium, lithium, potassium have particular color and particular wavelength. इसके बारे में भी बात की. For example, if we talk about calcium, calcium burns with flame which have orange color or sometime brick red color. This type of question can come in your GPAT examination, and it have a specific wavelength. The specific wavelength of calcium is around 423. The unit of wavelength is nanometer. Similarly, for barium ion, if we talk about barium ion, the color for barium ion is lemon yellow. And please note that every metal ion have a particular color. No two metal ion have same color. Also, every metal have particular lambda max. No two metal ion have same lambda max. Barium show yellow lemon color when it burns, and it show lambda max of around 554 nanometer. And another important is sodium. Sodium burns with a flame which color is yellow, and sodium show the lambda max of around 589 nanometer. 589 nanometer is the lambda max of sodium. And lastly, potassium burns with the color violet, and it have lambda max of around 767 nanometer. So this is an important part of this topic, that which type of metal ion after absorbing heat energy, flame energy, get excited and they emit radiation which come under this color range. Calcium give brick red color, orange color, barium give lemon yellow color, sodium give yellow color, potassium give violet color. Calcium give lambda max of 423 nanometer, barium give lambda max of 554 nanometer, sodium give lambda max of 589 nanometer, potassium give lambda max of 767 nanometer. This lambda max we have already derivatized in this equation. And you have to note that every ions of these metals have a unique lambda max. No two have same lambda max. Now, what happens exactly in flame photometer? मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ. What happens in exactly in flame photometer? In flame photometer, when we want to analyze calcium, for example, we want to analyze calcium chloride salt. So what happens is that we adjust the slit is the window of flame photometer to this range, that is 423 nanometer, and only radiations associated with calcium ion will be emitted. Similarly, for barium, when we analyze barium, we adjust the slit to 554 nanometer. Only this particular light wavelength of 554 nanometer will come from slit, and it analyzes only barium. And when you see the instrumentation later, you will see that there is a filter which is for sodium, calcium. We have to set the filters before starting our analysis. Now, this forms the basis of flame photometry, and the basic principle, if we talk about the principle of flame photometry, the basic principle of flame photometry is excitation of ions through flame. When solution is sprayed in the form of substance sprayed in the form of solution, the heat which is produced by flame evaporates the solution. Salt become in solid state. After it's getting from solid state, the atoms are further heated to get vaporized and come into gaseous state. In gaseous state, these atoms jump from higher level energy level ground state to higher state. When they return from higher state to lower state, they emit the radiation, the energy which is absorbed, and that emitted radiation is area of our interest in flame photometry. That radiation we determine by flame photometry, and that's how we can determine the concentration of sodium, calcium, barium and potassium. So in this lecture we discuss about the principle and basic concept of flame photometry. In next video, I will discuss about the instrumentation of flame photometry. And kindly note, the instrument which is used to determine flame radiation is known as flame photometer. Thank you very much.